Welcome back to this Sunday Postcast. Now, I don't think I've known as dramatic series of high-profile defeats than we've had this week. It's been absolutely unbelievable. You've not had a minute's peace from it. Of course, we've got to mention Faheen. He couldn't put his best foot forward. I'm not sure if they found anything in particular to contribute to his disappointing performance where he's pulled up at Leopardstown on Friday, but I'm sure Willie Mullins and his vets will be having a good old look at him. Strengthens Bouverdare's case for the race. Now, first off, has anyone got any sort of theories on why he was so disappointing? I know a lot of people believe in this sort of bounce factor, but he clearly just, you can't take that performance on face value at all, can you, Frank?
Well, if you
Ed, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, if you go on Twitter, you'll find all kinds of funny theories, won't you, about guys in the Middle East place laying it and stuff. And, look, maybe the horse just doesn't want to do it anymore. Look, he's 10 years of age. And at some point, all greats do decline. I mean, it was sad to see, wasn't it? We wanted to see him get round, but there appears to be no immediate obvious excuse. Almost without, for want of a better phrase, you almost wanted there to be a problem with him. So at least that kind of gave us a reason why he should come back. But it appears they've kind of given him a clean bill of health. They're saying I hope to go again with him, but yeah, you've definitely got to worry if you're a Faheen fan now, and he's the horse I cannot, for the life of me, have on my mind with the Cheltenham Festival approaching. Yeah,
I think Rich Ritchie said after the race, I'm not sure if it's been made official yet, but he sort of said that's it. We're not, he doesn't owe anyone anything. It was bizarre though, wasn't it? Because he was so impressive on his return in the Morgiana, so impressive and dominant. And it was like the old Faheen was back. So what was your analysis?
Yeah, I think the writing was on the wall for him when you saw him being taken on and being led by Silios Emery. I think, in his prime, if he was at his best, he would have just put that field to the sword. He would have jumped off in front. They would never have seen him again. So as soon as he was kind of not getting away from the others, as soon as he kind of got headed, you think, something's not right here. And yeah, he just capitulated really quickly. He got chewed up and spat out the back, and he was pulled up. And they said since, there's nothing wrong with him. It's a bit like Sizing John in that respect. They've come back post-race normal, whatever that means. So they can't find anything
overheated
on him.
Sizing John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sizing John was abnormal. Was it York Hill, the one that was normal? Yeah. Another one was...
Sizing John was, by the vets, was clinically abnormal.
That's the one, yeah.
There's been so much of that last week. I'm getting confused.
Faheen, they appear to be just lost to what I believe,
But I think, nobody in their right mind could consider Faheen for the champion hurdle at the moment. You need to see another performance from him. They talked about maybe going to that Champions Weekend, the new initiative that is being put on in February, and him going there. You need to see a positive performance from him before you even contemplate looking at him for Cheltenham. It's Bouverdare's to lose, and the way it's going, my tent or yours will come in second again, won't he, as an 11-year-old?
4 years in a row for my tent or yours second in the champion hurdle.
Will they consider bringing York Hill back to 2 miles and hurdles?
That's the big conundrum, isn't it? I was going to say, a lot of people in the Racing Post office were sort of Team Bouverdare before Faheen even put up that performance, so that would strengthen his case. But if we do put York Hill into the mix, then that's going to be a cracker. I know people like Kevin Blake are saying that, he always should have been campaigned over hurdles and over 2 miles. He's just so speedy and classy, so perhaps that's the way to go after he disappointed. Frank, we'll go to you. What was your analysis of the whole Faheen situation and now the champion hurdle market? Can we get some betting on that as well?
Well, I'd give you the champion hurdle betting first. Bouverdare is 1-2. Faheen and York Hill are both 6-1. Mellon 8-1. By 10 to yours 10-1. Def Desai 16-1, and we're 20-1 bar. I like Faheen. I'd be a little bit of a cynic, and there was some unusual activity on Betfair exchanges a couple of weeks back when Faheen went quite weak and Bouverdare strengthened up, and you just get the feeling something must have happened at home to lead to that activity. Whether it was a bad piece of work or something, like he could just have bounced, but you do always worry when a horse has been off the track for so long, comes back, wins a race that probably wasn't the strongest the last day, and does that. It's very hard to see him come back. Like, he might come back and run, but I don't think we'll ever see Faheen at the levels he was before the injury. And this champion hurdle looks Bouverdare's for the taking, unless they do switch York Hill back to hurdles. Now, it's a case of whether York Hill will go the 2 mile chase route, the 2 mile hurdle route. With Min being a little bit disappointing at Leopardstown over 2 miles as well, there is the possibility he might go the champion chase route. But it's quite fascinating. But Bouverdare, he's been nothing but impressive the last 2 seasons, and he's most definitely the one to beat.
Okay, Bouverdare, obviously the one to beat. Now, we're going to move on to your Christmas eye catchers. Nick, I'll go to you first.
God, Christmas eye catchers. There's been so much to choose from. It's hard to remember.
Do you want me to give you a minute?
I think I mentioned Fountain's Windfall on the Postcast a few days ago. I thought he would have won at Kempton on Boxing Day had he stood up, and it wasn't a serious mistake he made. It was a bit unfortunate. I thought that he came to grief, and I wouldn't give up on him over fences. He might have 2 Fs next to his name, but if he could just get in a bit of practice at home, I still think in the spring he could be a real tool. You saw what he did at Aintree last season.
They're going to go for a really small event and just try and get him round for confidence.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense to me, but I certainly wouldn't be giving up on him.
No, over fences, I still think he's got more to give. A lot of people, I think, when they have some, he's been very unfortunate, like you say. And
he's a horse who actually jumps well until he makes the mistake. Yeah. As opposed to a poor jumper who then, you see what I'm saying, when he gets it right, he does look very good. So, I wouldn't give up.
And also, I'll just give a quick word. We mentioned Willie Mullins, who's very in and out over Christmas at Leopardstown. So the performance of Min, although it looked really bad at the time, and of course he got disqualified and thrown out, we could actually maybe mark that up a little bit. If the stable has been under par and suffering a little bit, I think in the next few runs is the time to judge Min. And Let's Dance, who won easily. Again, if you can mark that up, she actually performed very well, and she's interesting for me for the Mayor's Hurdle. I think she could give Apple's Jade a race if they both ran. Yeah,
she seems to like the good ground as well that you get. On Min as well, I think you can't say he ran his race there, surely, can you?
I don't think he did.
I don't think so at all.
Nowhere near. No. But, we'll find out in the next couple of months.
He does over-race in the early stages a lot, Min. I think he's often very keen, and I do wonder whether he's expending a bit too much energy in the early stages, but chat for another day, I suppose.
Yeah, eye catcher for you?
A couple, blow my own trumpet, but Annabelle Fly was a nice winner for the last podcast. And I believe his Irish marks are up to 159 now. So, he just routed the opposition in that big Paddy Power handicap. And they're going to have to start thinking about graded races. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if they try the synchronised route and throw them in the the Irish Hennessy and then start thinking about potentially something like a Gold Cup if the ground was on the soft side. Because on official ratings, he's only got £8-9 to fine with Sizey John, who's a Gold Cup winner. So it's that kind of crazy 3-mile chase division this year. I think Paul Keeley summed it up well the other day. He said, if you had any kind of horse rated around 160, I'd just be running it in the Gold Cup because you never know what could happen. But as an actual eye catcher, I can't even really remember the horse's name exactly, but it was the Jessica Harrington horse in the bumper by the late Alan and Ann Potts. I think it was called Whisper in the Breeze.
Yes, I think you got that right.
Absolutely, horse pulled the jockey's arms out off a really slow pace for the first circuit. Definitely one that's gone into my notebook. When he gets a good gallop to run out, I'm not suggesting something like the Champion Bumper, but if he went up in class into a really good bumper where they go an end-to-end gallop, I could see him running an absolute stormer, and his finishing position kind of masks his kind of a residual class and ability, I think. So he's definitely one I've stuck in my horse tracker with next time out in mind.
Okay, brilliant. Frank, Christmas eye catcher?
Yeah, I have a few. First, in the Pretemps qualifier at Leopardstown, there was a monumental performance and defeat from a Grade Few. He must have been 20-25 lengths off the lead turning in and absolutely flew home to be beaten a short head by mine now. Now his rating, he'll need to get his rating up a bit. He's only rated 126, and even when the English handicapper gets hold of him, he'll probably bump him up 131. So he needs to get up probably to at least maybe 136 or 7 to have a chance of getting a run in the final. But he was a massive eye catcher, and there's plenty more to come from him over that 3-mile trip. Unusually for the Hunter Chase division, there was put it mildly, a few quiet murmurings about Burning Ambition at Limerick. He's trained by a small trainer, Pierce Michael Power, who I wouldn't be aware of, but he was very impressive, albeit not the strongest looking sort of Hunter Chase, but he might be one to follow in that division going forward. In a maiden hurdle at Leopardstown, Canardier for Dermot McLaughlin was absolutely tanking through the race when he got Mullers turning in by the horse in front, cut across him and nearly unshipped Andrew Lynch. I think winning a maiden hurdle is a formality for him, and he could potentially get handicapped very favourably on the basis that he's been beaten twice now already. So he's one to follow for the next couple of runs. And the final one didn't even run at Christmas, but my Coney Island is definitely starting up for the Gold Cup on the basis of what's happened over Christmas. And if you look at Annabelle Fly and Road to Respect, who won the 2 big races at Leopardstown, Coney Island put them in their place last year in the Drinmore. His form couldn't be working out any better, and I really believe this is here. I think there was a few Twitter murmurings, and I think there was an article as well saying that we were a bit mental going 10-1, but if anyone wants to lay me any bigger, I'd be more than willing to do business.
Well, Coney Island, Frank, we've said in the past how if he wins, you'll just be off to somewhere very, very hot and we'll all be very jealous of you.
You'd be having more than Volavants, put it up.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to a topic now that's going to make you smile, Ed, because we're going to talk about the Coral Welsh National. I know you've got a big anti-post fancy for this in doubles and all sorts. Frank, betting and a fancy for you in this race. It's been rescheduled, of course.
Yeah, just 1 second there. Beware the Bears, still 8-1 favourite. Chase the Spud, 9-1 along with False and Blue. As the Weatherman, 10-1 along with Mystery. And Rock the Casbah and Vintage Clouds. Bishop's Road, Final Lodge and Wild West Wind are 12-1. America and Milan's Bar, Cobbles Bay, Raza Marie and Vicente are 16-1. And we're 25-1 bar.
Okay, excellent. Frank, quickly, your selection for this one?
It was originally Mystery. I think Tom Scal put it up at price-wise the night before, and I see no reason to change. He loves the mud. He's great first time out. He'll stay all day. I'd be very disappointed if he didn't get round or finish in the first four, but I think he has a great chance of winning.
Okay, Mystery for Frank. Ed, you're going to love this. Take it away.
Well, I might do. I might not by the time the race is finished. Now, Rock the Casbah, he's been one of my biggest fancies all year, really, and I've kind of put him in doubles and trebles and all sorts. And I mean, his form figures at Chepstow are electric, aren't they? Second, 1-1-1, his form at Chepstow. Loves soft ground. Jumps, he stays. He's off a mark of 149. I think there's still mileage in that mark at this track on this ground. Richard Johnson, of course, would have been due to miss the ride on him after he's suffering his concussion. By all accounts, if he passes his concussion test, or however they exactly define it, he'll be back for the ride on Rock the Casbah, which is brilliant because he gets on so well with that horse. So 10-1, I mean, famous last words, but with a clear round, I don't see how he's out the four, given his... he ticks every box you want. Possibly, you could argue he's slightly inexperienced compared to some of the others, but he's got a touch of class about him. And yeah, I'm really keen on Rock the Casbah's chances. Okay,
Rock the Casbah for you. Nick?
Yeah, I've got a little interesting one at 25-1, trained by Evan Williams. It's called On the Road. Now, the negative to his chances is that he might not make the cut. I think he was just a few off it last time, but hopefully this time he might sneak in at the bottom. He won 3 in a row over fences early last season, early months of last season. He come back, he ran a really good race over hurdles last time. Finished second behind a horse called Sykes, who's since run a really good race behind Arthur's Gift at Cheltenham, so that was quite a good comeback run. He loves testing conditions. And I just, we're not all breeding buffs out there, but I just had a little check to see if he would stay the trip, and Earth Summit features very prominently in his breeding. If you go back a couple of generations, Earth Summit won 3 nationals, the Aintree National, he won the Welsh National, he won the Scottish National. Staying genes written all over him, so he could be a big improver over this marathon trip. If he sneaks in off the bottom, off a low weight, then at 25-1, I think he is on the road, could outrun his price.
Okay, I like the sound of that very much. That'll do for us today. We'll be back on Friday with another weekend tipping postcast, and on Thursday with another football postcast. If you enjoy listening to these, please rate, review and subscribe on iTunes, and we'll see you soon.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds, conditions and exclusions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Subscribe to Members Club Ultimate and access unlimited video replays from all 86 racecourses in Britain and Ireland.